Hi everyone. Welcome. We are waiting for our guest, Priscilla Terrero. Great. Hello everyone. Welcome. We're just waiting for our guest, Priscilla. She's connecting now. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's so good to see you. Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
How are you doing today?
Very good. Thanks. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I know you were trying to reach out to me earlier today, but I was
No,
just super, it was insane.
I love the artwork behind you. What is that?
Oh, that's my father-in-law. He's a painter.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I want to dive into conversation. For people who are joining us, we're speaking with Priscilla Terrero today. She's the owner and founder of Morito Chocolates. And this conversation is part of New York City Maker Week, Made in New York City week. And we're speaking to makers around the city. We're talking to them about what it's like to be a maker in New York City, why they chose New York, what it has been like in recent months, which I'm sure has been an adventure on its own. So let's dive in. Let's rewind though, because I mean I'm so happy to have a conversation all about chocolate. Let's rewind, and I want to hear kind of the genesis of your brand.
Well, yeah. Well, again, Hallie, thank you for having me, and thanks for everybody here watching. Morito Chocolates is I don't know how to put it in words, but it's because I'm super attached, and it's really emotional for me to talk about it. But um, everything started, just being curious. I have a previous job before, and I wasn't quite sure. Like I wasn't sure what was happening. Like I know I wasn't happy, like super happy about it, and I just decided to kind of take a break and start searching for something that really fulfilled me. And at this point I didn't know what it was. And I started basically digging in, and I started like searching what was that thing. And I switched careers. I started working in a field where I have no idea how things were working. And for me it was a whole journey about trying to discover what I wanted. And once I found that click, that thing that took me to work with chocolate, I thought, oh my God, this is great. I really love it, because chocolate is it's not an easy it's not an easy thing to work at the beginning. But I think, well, and based on my experience, once you understand and you know how it works, you really get attached to that. And for me, the idea was it was so clear, because I thought I was raised in the Dominican Republic. I would love to bring a product, something that I can attach like both countries, Dominican Republic, and now living in New York, bring a product, something that people will enjoy and people really, really love, something that I'm passionate about. And that's how basically everything started. I have no idea how to start a business. Don't ask me that side of the equation. That's another thing that I'm gonna talk about later. But truly, the passion about chocolates and the passion about working with ingredients, the source of the ingredients, have some integrity, and working with people. Like it's a whole chain, and it's a beautiful thing once you get in and understand. And to me, that was something that it was clear right there, and to me the concept was there. The rest was work about branding and
Figuring it out.
main and but the main idea, again, I didn't have it right away. I have to search for that. And once I got it, it was extremely, everything started making sense.
Well, so let's rewind. You grew up in the Dominican Republic, and
Yeah.
you grew up near cacao farms, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And so,
we used to live in different places, and it's very common in the Dominican Republic, especially in the north side of the island. uh, especially, that size is like countryside, and it's common to have cacao trees in your backyard. It's really common. And back then I didn't get it because, you took I don't know, I took it for granted, but I didn't understand what was the meaning of that until I moved here.
Did
And then I went through all these
did
experiences.
family cook with the cacao growing up? Like, was that something?
No,
No?
no,
Okay.
no, not
Okay.
at all.
So it
Not
was
at all.
explored as an adult.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you grow up and you're exposed to having cacao trees in your backyard, not even like kind of realizing maybe the impact that it was having on you. You move to New York and you start your job, you're looking for another outlet, and you think, let me do something that kind of pays tribute to my roots.
That's exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Something
So what building any type of business from scratch is such an adventure. What was that like, right? So you realize, okay, I want to create something with chocolate. Where do you go from there?
I started obviously focusing so much in the process, in the production process, developing recipes. Everything was about making those flavors. I was so into recipes, so deep, like you have no idea. That was just a small portion of the whole. The
But
whole thing is
like, when you say recipes, you're talking about taking the cacao and
taking exactly just putting together different ingredients because I didn't want to. I was thinking about something different than what it was what what is in the market. I wanted to create a product that I was able to work with simple ingredients without having preservatives, without having any other additions, just the whole ingredients. And that was a challenge because there's certain things that you can control. Shell life, that's one thing, and I was like testing out. Temperature is another thing, and I just wanted to make sure, by not using any preservatives, the chocolates were able to hold well.
yeah.
So yeah, it was I was really deep into that, trying to develop flavors, and think about what is the best options, like what like starting from scratch, like what I can bring that it doesn't kind of compete with what is in the market. And it took me a time to develop that and also understand competitors. But again, that was
Yourself, or did you have a team, or what did
no, I
that?
started myself. Yeah, I started everything myself, and then everything started like falling like very organically. Like, okay, now I have this concept. It's working out great. Now I need a name. Okay, I got the name. So now what do I do with the name? Yeah, I have to go to this place and I have to register the name. And from there, it was like following step by step,
Mhm.
uh, in order to make sure that I was, working towards something that I was, and I am passionate about. But
When,
again,
were
sorry,
you in New York this entire time doing this?
I was in New York this
What
entire time, but
what did it
but
look
so,
like in New York? Were there resources for creating like a consumer?
yes, yes, believe it or not, you just need to really take the time to look for those resources. But there's a lot of places that are able to help. Um, at the beginning, it was all confusing because I didn't have any guidance about that part in particular, about paperwork and how to start a business from scratch. But then you start doing some research and you start connecting, and then you get to the right people. That's how actually I met, the team at Mating NYC.
Yeah.
Extremely helpful. So it was, yeah, it,
And
it
what
really
did
changed.
together? How were they helping you?
Oh my God, they first off, I knew about them because I attended this event. They have a pop-up in Chinatown, and I went there, and then I really loved the vibe. I really loved how they were, taking care about local makers. I was, oh my God, never seen anything like this, like all together local makers. Like, this is amazing. So I took it from there and I started like checking on the website, and then I got in contact with their team, and I have questions. about location. Like, okay, I'm struggling about, a space for production. Um, and they were really helpful. They were, extremely helpful. Oh yeah, we can propose this. You can go to this place, and they can actually help you out with the paperwork if you need extra help. Branding, like, do you need pictures? We have this whole website where you can check our schedule. We always offer classes, and to me it was like,
Oh.
this is insane. This is great.
Were you with other like people who were at the same beginning process as you, or were you taking these classes? Were they online? Were they in person? And the reason I ask these questions is if somebody's watching this video and they're like, I would like to start a chocolate company, or I would like to start something similar, so they can imagine a bit what the process is like specifically in New York.
Well, the process, here's the thing, like, for anyone out there that really, that would love to start a business, chocolate or another field, the number one advice is really learn your craft. Learn your craft. Like, don't do any shortcuts or anything. Like, just learn your craft, get into the field, and just try to understand how things work from A to Z. That's number one. After that, try, ask for help. There's people out there, people that are willing to help, and believe me, it's incredible the amount of pressure that you take out of you, because obviously this is a process where you don't know everything. You don't know anything, honestly. Like, you get in and it's like, oh my God, okay, now I have to, swim, and navigate through all this. But believe me, there's people out there willing to help. Don't be afraid. Ask for help. And
Were the people that you were finding, were they specific to the consumer packaged goods space, or were they more able to help you on putting together a business plan, setting your business up as like so it could pay taxes, like all of those kind of nuts and bolts, or was it specific to your industry?
it was a specifically for packaged goods. But at the beginning, I was just trying to get a general information from everybody. Honestly, it's just so complex because you really need to. It can be overwhelming, but if you keep a to-do list and you go step by step,
Hmm.
it's so much easy. At the beginning, again, I was like super overwhelming about, okay, I got this now, branding this and that, and I just got very wrapped up into the whole process. But at least Made in NYC gave me kind of some guidelines how to do things in a specific order,
Mm.
because that's the thing, you don't know what order to take. Like, oh, what did I do first? Did I start with branding? Did I do this? Should I start selling out here? No, it's just you need to follow up certain steps before you jump to the next one.
Mhm.
And I think that kind of guidelines is really helpful.
Wow. So you're going through this process. You're working with the Made in NYC team to put together like your business plan and kind of the nuts and bolts. Then what? You have the cacao beans. How do you get from writing the business plan to bringing that to fruition?
Well, I started. I work with two friends. They work in advertising, and they help me out with the whole business plan, just because I never done that before, and it was really helpful. I have the concept, I have the idea, so it was really easy because it was basically meeting with these ladies, having a conversation one on one, and it's kind of defining your brand. Like, what do you want to say? Where do you want to go? Like, who are the people that you want to sell or be part of? What is your values? Like, who are you, and who do you want? Where do you want to be? It's kind of, yeah, again, defining your personality and reflecting that into obviously the brand. And it was a really interesting process. I knew I wanted to have a brand that it feels organic, it feels real, um, minimal ingredients, a small batch. I didn't want it was surreal, like, to think about, like, oh yeah, I want to be in the entire nation. No, because I'm placing myself as a small batch person. Like, this is the I'm Morito. So it doesn't make any sense. You need to stick to where you want to be, and stick to those customers that resonate with you, and keep loyal to your retail stores who, have something in common with you. And it's kind of a relationship that you need to respect.
Were you
Sorry.
making this like small batch in your home, or are there food incubators that you were
I
working with?
started,
Small
definitely,
batch in your
I started working a small batch at home.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was really stressful because you have these machines running 24 hours. It was like I couldn't sleep, seriously, just checking on those machines. I didn't want to have the apartment on fire, seriously. Like, it was really stressful. Yeah, I started all the tests, and the very first batch I started at home. And it was crazy because I thought, okay, I really need a place where I can work, because it's just the lack of space is crazy. And also I need to kind of measure, like, what's the numbers that I want to bring in
Yeah.
every batch, like how often I want to do that. It's just, you are so clumsy. I know you don't know. But then, just start working every day, understanding better, looking around, meeting with people. You get to some places that unfortunately didn't work. For me at the beginning, looking for a place was a nightmare. It was a nightmare because it was really hard for me to negotiate a place that allowed me to have a machine running 24 hours.
Why it need to be running 24 hours? What is it in the cacao production that
Oh, the cacao, yeah, you're releasing fat, and you need to make sure, it's a process that you can stress out. It's a process that, it needs time, and it's a long time. Basically, you're grinding cacao nibs into these machines with these wheels, and you are releasing acid of the cacao percent, and you need to let it run for at least 24 hours. And yeah, it was a challenge to find a place that allowed me to have those machines running for that amount of
in
time.
the end, where did you find a place, or who connected you with somebody?
I end up, there's a place in which, by the way, there are members of Made in NYC.
Oh,
It's a bakery. That was the only solution. The guys were, they are amazing. It's a couple. The place is called, yeah, it's called La New Yorkina. They're based in Red Hook, and
okay.
it's really lovely. Like, they got it, like, at the very first, moment that I met them. I was, oh my God, I'm struggling so much. And Fania is the owner, and she was, yeah, I got you, no worries. Yeah, I want to support you, and you know what, whatever you need, just let me know. Whenever you need the space, you got it. And don't feel pressure about, working 5, 8 hours. Take it the time that you need, and as long as you give me the key next day for me
Hmm.
to run my bakery, is fine. So that was
Yeah.
the solution.
Did they end up using any of your chocolates in any of their baked goods?
No more, like, for personal, like,
Uh,
oh, can I get this for my for
yeah,
my
yeah.
honor?
I mean, it must be nice, like be taste testing chocolate kind of here and there. I imagine I've seen like on cooking shows where they'll have an entire grid and they're taste testing. Like I watched Christina Tosi's Chef's Table where they have this grid where she's trying like cookie after cookie, and I thought, what a dream! Like, is that how chocolate is tested? Are you guys making like batch after batch and
I do.
tasting the tiny differences?
I try to do, like, really minimal, especially if I'm including flavors like, hazelnut, peanuts, or tahini, like the banana tahini. It's a small quantities, but again, once you make your formulation, like your entire number, and you can always, downscale the recipe and start testing just different portions. And yeah,
And so
that's how
really
it
recipe
works.
that, right? you slowly got to the recipe as you were iterating. So once you find the
Yes.
recipe that you're going to use, then you have to do packaging. Was that something that then like another person was able to help you think through? How do you do packaging? And I mean, I have friends that work in the CPG space, and even their first batches of whatever they're doing, the packaging evolves over time, right? They find something that works better for their product, that is maybe a better price point, maybe that ships better. Where did you start with packaging? Oh, whoops. I'm not hearing you.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Oh, there you go. The volume.
Packaging is another thing that you need to take. You need to take the time to look. I can you hear me? Okay,
Yes, it was
perfect.
cutting out.
Yeah, I think packaging is another thing. You really need to take the time to once you take like the measurements and like you know the size like specifically. Can you
So like this, the size of the
hear me now?
chocolate, or yeah, it was cutting out a little bit. But you were just saying that it's like a kind of
Hallie,
an
are you there?
iterative process once you figure out. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So you were saying it's kind of an
Hello?
iterative process. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Do you hear any volume?
Yes, once you have
Okay, you hear volume.
yes,
Can you
once
hear?
you figure out exactly once you define the size of your product, you yes, I hear you okay. Yes.
Okay, great.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear you now. Yeah, go ahead. So you were saying that it's an iterative process.
Yes,
Oh, it's
I hear you perfect.
it's cutting out.
Uh, yeah, it's fine. I hear you perfect.
Not
Can
sure
you
what
hear
to
me?
do. Let's see. Yeah, the it's not synced, the video and the
Do you
technical
hear me?
difficulties. Oops. Yeah.
Hi, Ali.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, 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 perfect. So yes, I was saying that once you yeah, so once you define the size of your product, you need to have that information before I start searching for packaging.
Whoops. I'm not sure about the technical.
Now or
It's not synced with the
oh,
is mine synced with, well, like when I speak is the trying to figure out the technical side of it.
do you want me to
Yeah,
maybe if we can
yeah,
I hear you.
and then join again. Request to. Okay. Um, let's do that, and then we will try to add her again. Thanks, people, for bearing with us as we're figuring out this out. Let's see here. There we go. Hopefully this will work. It says that she's connecting.
Oh, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you, but you're not in recording app.
Hmm. Um, Not sure.
No,
See it. Try. I can play. I'm playing with my internet a little bit. Is it better now?
no, okay.
Okay, let's try. So you were
It's better,
saying
yeah.
that it's like an iterative process for you to figure out the recipe and then figure out packaging for that. What was that packaging process like? Like, and how did people in New York support you during it?
Well, the process of searching for the packaging, obviously you need to know your product. You need to know the size that you know of your items. Once you know that, and the quantities also that you want to include in that packaging. Uh, Once you do that, it's all about searching what is the look, the material. That's important. The material is something that you know it's not harm for environment. Obviously, not like prices, like how flexible the vendors are to sell you a small quantity. You know, if you're just starting. In my case, it was a big challenge because obviously everything. The only way for you to save, you know, to make things cost efficient is if you buy a lot. Um, for me, I needed to have that flexibility that I can buy small quantities and I'll be okay with production. Um,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do you want to say something? I'll see if I hear you. Hello? There's no sound. Hmm. Um, I'm not really sure what's going on. Thanks everyone for bearing with us. Um, I can have you try having you rejoin again. Um, hmm. Um, Let me have you try having you join again. Thanks everyone for bearing with us. We're just trying to get Priscilla connected again. I want to hear about her chocolate. It sounds delicious. But this conversation is part of a series of conversations with Made in New York City with local entrepreneurs. My name's Hallie Applebaum, and I'm the founder of Future of Women, which is a platform for women's storytelling. So we thought that this would be a really great way for us to work together to hear women's voices and amplify those voices. Hi, can you hear me now?
Hi.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll try one more time. So you were saying that the packaging, it's like a process. And again, I want to highlight what resources were available for you in New York, whether that is through Made in New York City or through other organizations, so that people can get an idea of what it is like to start a small business in New York. And then I want to talk about what it's been like during this time, during COVID. So let's finish up with hearing how it was to kind of like actually bring the product to market through testing and packaging. Yeah, that'd be great.
That process was I took the time for that because again, you need to understand the size of your item for you to search the right package, and also the package define the label. So it was like a step by step. So like, okay, I need to get the right packaging, especially for chocolate, just to make sure it was safe. Once I got, I did an entire research, requesting samples all around, checking with the size of the chocolates, checking if it was easy or it was complicated to put together the whole process. Once I have the right packaging, I started working on labels, and labels was another thing, defining the colors of the brand, defining the personality, which already was on paper, but I needed to reflect that. I needed to just showcase how the brand will look, how the colors, the colors that will be basically part of this whole brand. But also the touch of those materials, labels with texture, the packaging. Yeah, I needed to be brown craft, and I needed to, to feel authentic, to feel good, to feel organic. Once I kind of, put all this together, I got to the point that I felt, okay, this is a good starting point. It's great. Now let me see from those vendors that I was asking samples. Now let me check the requirements. Let me see what's the minimum order. Let me see how long, like in advance, I need to request, any, orders. And this is like part of your whole organization. It's part of how you help yourself and help your business also to function. Because if I know it will take me a week or 2 weeks to request those labels, I need to organize my whole dynamic, my whole production dynamic, and make sure I request that in that time.
Yeah.
So it was basically, once I got the package that I wanted, it was checking on those vendors, making sure that they knew the brand, that they knew that I was interested about their products, and making sure that they were really like taking care, and their process were aligned with mine, and it's all about that.
Doing all of this yourself, or was there someone kind of guiding you through the process?
No, it was the whole packaging process. I did that by myself, but the design of the labels, it was a friend of mine. She's a designer, and she helped me out to put everything on paper, basically. But I have
it's beautifully done. I looked at it's beautiful. And so once you have your kind of minimum viable product, right? Your first chocolate that's wrapped and it's ready to go, did you send that out to friends and family, or what was the first batch sending it out?
It's tricky because your friends and family will always tell you it's the best. Go for it. It's the best. It's nice, however, they will always tell you something positive and good, which is nice. But for you to really test out whatever you're doing, whatever you're making, go out there.
Okay.
I joined this market here in Brooklyn, Artisan Fleas, in North 7th.
Yeah.
And it was December. It was a last minute thing. I was like, okay, great. I think I can make it. Will you guys allow me to, give me a little space at your market? oh yeah, but you need to bring me this and that, more steps, more papers that I needed to work on. And again, everything is like, once you have something, like the rest start falling out. Like, it's just that you cannot, you just have to wait, finish something first, and then everything else will just come, everything falls into process that you have to do. I cannot start a process with this market without me having a product and having the branding ready.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it. For me, joining this market was great, because I was able to see people's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
For real, they didn't know me. I didn't know them.
Yeah.
They didn't call me anything. It was,
They didn't have.
me putting some samples.
Yeah.
Putting some samples out there, and I made up the price. I was like, okay, I guess I know this is a fair price. Let's see. And obviously, I based my price, based on the cost of the ingredients and everything. But it was a first test, and a lot of people, like, really great reactions, a lot of comments. It was a really nice experience, because I learned a lot. I learned so much, and it's just helped me out to keep working on the brand before having something solid that I could just, prepare a whole package and go out and sell to, retail stores.
What were some of the lessons you learned as people are at the Artist and Fleas marketplace and they're coming up and they're testing and they're buying, because it's hosted right around the holidays? So this was a perfect
Yes.
holiday gift. What was some of
It
the
was perfect.
feedback that you were hearing and lessons that you were learning that you could then take back to the programming that you were learning through Made in New York City, or the programming that you were receiving in other places?
For me, it was more the comments that I was getting from customers was more two things. Flavors, they were really happy, especially because I started with 5 flavors, and 3 of them were really traditional. 2 of them were like very pushing the envelope, and they were like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Pushing the envelope flavors.
Well, that's those flavors I still keep. Then is the banana tahini, and another one that I have that I only have during holidays is the cranberry with pumpkin seed butter. So I started with those, yeah, and they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love it, and that was like a really good motivation for me to keep those flavors. But anyways, it's just people's reaction, you connecting also with customers, being able to talk, to hear them, and really like learn from that. I really love comments. I really love people talking, because that's the only way that Otherwise, you go through life thinking like, oh yeah, I'm doing the perfect thing, when you are not. You need to be able to do that, connect, and I think that's the biggest things that I take that from that market. The other thing, that reaction with the packaging was amazing, but the feeling, I noticed it, that people really love feeling, touching, and they loved the touch, the feel, and understand that that was part of the values, and part of it was aligned with the product's attribute. Same thing, that I was promising something that you were able to touch and feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was my very first experience, and after that, honestly, just I remember during that market, I remember taking a sample kit, and I ran to, there was a store, The Meadow, in the West Village.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know what, let me drop a sample and let's see. And they immediately contact me like a week after. Like, oh my God, this is great. You're probably going to do amazing here. I was like, are you kidding?
Yeah, that's great. And so has like the growth been very organic like that, where it's you kind of dropping the product off with certain people where your values are aligned, they like it, they start carrying your product? Has that been kind of the evolution of things?
It's interesting, because because I have no clue what I was doing. I was like, and I'm a very shy person, but in this case, in this occasion, I have the product right here. Why not? Let me go right there. I
You have
talked with one of my.
We'll talk to you.
I have a friend there at the market. I said, you know what? Can you hold on? Can you stay in this table for an hour? I have to go to Manhattan really quick. I went there, dropped the samples. They reached out to me, great. They were requesting order. Do you have a wholesale program? I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, of course I do.
Like I'll figure it out.
Exactly. It's more that you need to be open to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring things out. Like, you got it. You got the product. Okay, that's the difficult part. And you know that it's not going to be perfect at first. Like, it's not going to be perfect. If you think like you're going to have the perfect thing, you're going to hold yourself. You're just going to, and you're going to get frustrated. And you're going to put so much pressure on yourself. You need to be kind with yourself. Just try out. If people like it, honestly, go out there and show what you have. This was the case. I dropped off the samples at the Meadow. They asked me for a wholesale program. I say yes. Why? Because I knew I could, make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
From there, they started tagging me in their Instagram, and then other retail stores who follow their account start reaching out to me.
Wow.
So
That's great. Congratulations. Congratulations.
it's just,
And what I really like about your story is that there's a strong sense of community there, right? Like you've taken these courses through the Made in New York City. You've been part of Artists and Fleas, all of these things that are resources and like support within New York City's creative ecosystem with like all these small businesses. And so I like that community has really been like a big part of you becoming a chocolate brand. Everything from
yeah.
friends helping you with design to testing it in these different places. What has COVID been like? Are people eating more chocolate or less?
It's funny. No, it's been a really ups and downs. I remember like in the middle of March, I was getting, regular orders. People were asking, new customers reaching out. That was great. And then I was remembering like sending those messages like, okay, yes, thank you for your order, but right now I feel like I'm having a hard time trying to get, my supplies. Like, let's see. And then I remember end of March, everything just shut down. We all know that.
Yeah.
So what happened from there? March, April and May, dead. Like, nothing happened. I got my inventory and I thought, you know what? Let me run this batch and let me get a percentage of this for the farmers in the Dominican Republic.
Is all of your cacao, it's coming from the Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah, well, the plantation is in the Dominican Republic, but I source the beans here in Brooklyn.
Okay. Okay.
And I know them. I visit them, once every year. So I thought, you know what? Let me grab all my inventory. Let me use what I have right now. Let me run a small batch and let me just send a percentage of this to the Dominican Republic. And really, it's not like it's gonna fix their life right away, but at least it's gonna help out something.
Okay.
I'm gonna contribute to something.
Yeah.
I call. Is everything okay? Yeah, we're doing well. I think we just need more boxes to do the fermentation process. Oh, great. Can I help you to do that? It's just a small way for me to help you. You just do what you can in a big scale, small scale. It's just the way that you help, and that's exactly what I did. Then after that small batch, it was really difficult, like trying to get materials, trying to get ingredients. Everybody was so concerning during that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of in a limbo. I didn't know because I didn't want to plan because obviously, things were changing constantly, and I just waited. That's it. I waited, and I was just doing, what I could do, small batches, and then for some reason after July, during summertime, right there in the middle of summertime,
Mm-hmm.
people started requesting orders. Some stores started, sending some requests. I was, you know what? It's summertime. What am I gonna lose? I don't care. Let me send the chocolates during summertime. You want chocolate during summertime? You got it. So I started
It was
sending chocolate.
supplies that you needed.
Yeah, they were requesting orders of chocolate during summertime. Summertime is not good, especially because during shipping process, there's a huge risk to have your chocolate, to melt out during transit.
Yeah.
And I just took the risk. I said, there's nothing to lose. Let's do that. And I started sending chocolate. Fingers crossed, everything was good. And since last month, September, like I feel like there's a lot of stores like picking up, like you are reaching out.
Mhm.
They want to place their orders. They're requesting chocolates, and it's good. Like I feel positive, and I know it's still difficult to get supplies. You just anticipate. You just have to um, request those ahead of time, so you don't get like in the middle of a production, like thinking like, yeah, no, I will get shipping during 10 days. No, just keep in mind that you will always have some sort of delays in
Yeah.
the process. But right now, the spirit, like what I feel is, I don't know, people are getting more positive, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting orders. That's great. And anticipating, holidays. So fingers crossed, and let's see if.
Cranberry chocolate soon. They're too
Yes.
chocolate. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What I love about your story is how your childhood in the Dominican Republic inspired working with cacao beans, and that has led you on this path to then now during COVID giving back to the Dominican Republic and what inspired you. That's like such a beautiful narrative, and I'm glad things are picking up. I think it's great that people want their chocolate now, and
Slowly, but yes, I
hopefully
can feel the spirit.
hopefully that
It's
build into the holiday season. And
yeah.
so I wish you all the best with that. I want to thank you, and I want to thank Made in New York City for putting on this Made in New York City week. For people who are tuning in, this is part of a series of conversations where Made in New York City is speaking with small business owners across the city to understand what do their businesses look like, what has COVID meant for them, how are they finding inspiration and being resilient during this period. And so you guys should all go and check out these chocolates, grab a few for yourself, place some orders for the holiday season. But it's been such a treat to speak with you. For people who are tuning in, I'm going to be moderating 2 more of these conversations, both with women as well. My name is Hallie Applebaum, and I'm the founder of Future of Women, and we're a platform for telling women's stories. And so thrilled to be teaming up for this week to share some women's stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hallie, for having me, and thank you to Mating NYC. They're amazing, and the resources that they provide is just great. I'm very happy to be a member. I'm grateful. It's a luxury to be teaming with Mating NYC. And I hope the people out there, if they're considering or thinking about having their small business, just check on their website and check all the resources. There's things out there, and nothing. Let's just keep positive and let's wait for the holidays.
Oh, it's been such a treat. We'll talk soon.
Yes,
Take
thank you.
care. Bye.
Bye.